Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is How to Conquer Death and was delivered in Hollywood, California on August 11th, 1957.
Our subject this morning, how to conquer death. Kind of a gruesome subject, isn't it? On a hot Sunday morning. That's because we haven't found out yet how to be in that one consciousness which is above duality, the one presence of God. And so life and death, realize, are aspects of the same thing. The eternal consciousness of God, manifesting as the wave and the ocean. The wave rises and falls and dies, but the underlying ocean does not. And so behind this outward consciousness of duality is that one eternal consciousness and energy of God which does not pass away. As we identify ourselves with the wave, we are subject to the laws of the wave. The wave is born, the wave dies. But when we arouse ourselves and realize that behind this outward consciousness is that ocean of God's presence and merge in it, then we are not subject to the wave nor its laws. Realize that. And so, death is an expression of change, that's all. This wave of this life is finished and passes away. The only thing is that our consciousness has become identified and one with the wave consciousness. And so, when the body wears out and tires out and begins to disintegrate, our consciousness, believing that it is the body, loses the continuity with the underlying presence of God. That underlying consciousness which always was and will be is right within us. But because of the bad delusion of attachment to this vehicle, as it passes away, our soul thinks that it too is finished. A sad thing for children of God. We must realize if somehow we can be one with that underlying unity of God's presence, whether this body is here or not, makes no difference. As our Master used to say, when thy song flows through me, then life is sweet and death is sweet. How could he say that? He realized the underlying unity of God's presence. And so can each and every one of us do the same thing. The one underlying life we must know. But do not think you're going to know it when death comes. Unless you know it right now in this life, you will not have it with you after death. You must know it now. You must now wake up, arouse yourselves, and meditate deeply, regularly, so that you will not lose the continuity of God's presence which is in each and every one of us. That's the lesson. And how to conquer death simply means how to keep your own consciousness, which you are using right now, listening to me, how to keep it intact through all the changes of subconsciousness, waking consciousness, you know, subconsciousness, superconsciousness, through sleep, through death. You have to be able to simulate death consciously. Then you can never die. It is not difficult. It simply means doing something which you have not been in the habit of doing. When we go to sleep, we lose consciousness. But by the practice of self-realization methods, you can consciously sleep and even consciously die so that you are in the breathless state, fully awake to the presence of God within. That's conquering death. And all of those who regularly follow the teachings of our Master, who had conquered death, who lived in that one uninterrupted consciousness of God, those who follow him will also reach that state when they can live through the conscious presence of God within, his conscious energy. They can live in that, and it will not be interrupted in the state called death. Such a wonderful thing the Master has done and left for us, the ways and the means whereby we can realize here on this earth our immortality. And unless we do it here and now, we will not know it later. We have to right now know that we are immortal, that we can live, not subject to the laws of this cosmic dream. We can live one with the presence of God within. It has to be done in this life, or you will not be able to do it in the next life. We must be conscious of it right here on earth now. We think, oh well, I'll take care of that later. You never will.